My understanding is that the NDC's position has always been that 62 polling stations need to be rerun, not 19. So if I find it difficult to, to jump to the conclusion that the EC is doing the NDC's bidding. Because if the EC were to do NDC's bidding, they'll be running 62 polling stations, not 19 polling stations.
Correct.
The EC's position has been that they want to finish collation because 3 were outstanding, right? But at the end of the day, what we are hearing is that, well, they managed to get pink sheets for 18 or whatever of 37 or something that was outstanding, and they can't get consensus on 19. And what they want to do is to rerun the 19. I hear Kofi say here that, well, if they rerun the election today, NDC is going to win. Which to me suggests that that is what the people want. If that's what the people want, then why not give them what they want?
But he spoke about the circumstances of the day of elections.
Yes, but
on the 7th of January.
It's the reason why we have by-elections. It's the reason why we have, anything can happen. In this instance, I was actually asking why can't they just go back to the ballot box and recount? And my understanding was that 2 weeks after the elections, the place the ballot boxes were kept got set on fire. This was 2 weeks into the election. The people in charge were the MPP. The MPP was in charge of this country at the time, 2 weeks after the election, when the ballot boxes got, bent. Are you then saying that the NDC were the ones that went to manipulate the police, got them out, and bent the place? You can't necessarily say that. And you can't also say that the NDC was in charge at that time. The NDC was in charge of this country at this time. For me, it also raises the issue of the integrity of the EC, especially, and also of the police.
You know what happens in by-elections? You finish on that point.
Okay.
They are clearly aware that this is how many polling stations? 19. As an incumbent government, you will take absolute domination and control of the place. If it is money, if it is whatever goodies, they will be provided. We know what happened in by-elections. The elections are literally bought.
We have an example in Judge Kweson's constituency. We went for an election, the NDC won.
Maybe an outlier.
Election. I mean, so, the thing is, there is evidence to show that, it can actually happen, right? It's not an issue.
So talk about your police and...
Now, the issue with the EC and the police, right? From everything that I've heard here, it gives me a lot of concern, especially about the commissioners that we have at the EC. Both what the MPP is saying and what Kofi Bentil is actually saying here is that these EC commissioners lack integrity. That's what both of them are saying.
Yeah,
what both of them are saying.
Said that.
But that's the implication.
I haven't.
You have said so.
You've said so.
But I have said it. You have said so in many words.
Listen, I have stated that in this instance, if I say you are not a man of integrity, right? It is an unchangeable verdict I've passed on you. But if you do something, and I say that in this instance, I think...
Relative to the situation.
That's right.
Okay. But essentially what you're saying, and Nkrumah said, right, principle is indivisible, right? When you have principles, you stick to it. I believe that if they are people of principle, they would always stick to their point. And there are people that will not be influenced just by the threat of the loss of job. I will not be influenced by the threat of my job. Just because you say I might quit my job, then I do what I believe to be wrong. I will not do that. Now, if you're saying in this instance, the possible threat of loss of their job is why they are doing what they are saying, then you are basically saying they lack integrity, they don't have principle, and they don't stand by their principle. That's what you're saying, right? And that gives me concern, one, about the people at the helm of the EC at this stage, but also gives me concern about the sanctity of our political institutions, our state institutions, and what we need to do to ensure that we protect these state institutions.
All right. But remember, he says it was relative to the current circumstance and the issue. I'm a lawyer. I practice in the courtroom every day. I trust the judiciary, but I don't trust all of them.